What's up guys? In this video we will be delving into the implementation of the network layer, a commonly discussed topic in the interviews. It showcases candidates' knowledge of Swift foundations, the ability to work without any third-party libraries. It may also be given as a take-home assessment where the candidate will have requirements to present some data in the table view or collection view. We'll be navigating through it step by step, so let's get started. Firstly, we will create our project. Just simply create and call it network layer. Let's just create it like that. So we have view controller. It's a default one. We're just going to be using it to fetch our data here using this view controller. I'm not going to explain what are they, so we're just going to create a new group and call it network service. So within this we are going to using command just simply create an API target. Let's create one more. It's going to be our model. One more, and that's going to be network service. Oh, it's just simply manager. I can call it manager. Actually, let's make it a little bit bigger. I think it will be more visible for you. Okay, so API target, model, network, and we will create one more for error handling. So it's going to be our custom errors. Network error, we're going to call it here. So let's start. Firstly, we're going to create our model. We are going to use, let me find it here. Yes, this is going to be our API, our endpoint. We're going to fetch countries. This is our JSON. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. So this is a JSON here. We're going to fetching not everything from here. We need name, so name of the countries. So it's going to be common and official. We're going to use this. And population. Population, we're going to fetch these things. We don't need it all. It's just for usage. We just want to try to convert this, to decode this into our Swift objects. So that's why we are creating a model here. Just simply create a model. We will call it countries as we are fetching them. And in here we are using name. This is our name which we need here. As we need name, so usually it must be called same as in JSON. So it's kind of keyword similar to that one. If it's going to be something different like names or anything like that, or I just put mine like home or country, it's not going to be work. In this case we have to use some coding types. We just simply use name, just same as in JSON, and it's going to be name. So that name is also a struct. We'll call it here, and it has name parameter as string and that common as string. So these both, from where did we get it? It's a string, as you can see here, Cyprus and Republic of Cyprus. So common, official. Actually, that should be not name, but official. Yeah, we just can put it same as in our JSON, like this. We're not gonna make them nullable, as in our case it's useless. We know that this will come exactly nullable. It means that the value of that could be nil. Let's also have one more property. It's going to be population. Population is int. To making them decodable, we have to conform to a decodable protocol, or just can use simply codable. Codable means we can encode and we can decode. So just can use codable here. That's going to be working fine. So we're already done with our model. Next we're going to start to create our protocol. API target type, we can call it API target type, as it's kind of type interface. Here we're gonna define it. We have a base URL. It's gonna be string, and let's just use path as well. We also can be using HTTP, let's use simple method, and it's going to be HTTP method. We're going to define it a little bit later, and let's create headers string. We will make it optional, as in our case we don't use it, but usually maybe some comprehensive requests where it's needed headers, parameters as well. Let's create our HTTP method now. Method, which is string. This is our enumerations. We have cases. The first case is get, which is going to be get. Next is post, which is post. Let's make it all capital. Case put, let's make it put. Case delete. I just added them, but I'm not going to use all of them. I'm just going to use get. So this is our HTTP method. We define the protocol and its methods now. The next thing is to create our API target. It's going to be conforming to API target type that we just defined. So in our case, we are going to use get countries. Get countries. So if you have many different type of requests, like get countries, get cities, so it's like post request, you have delete request, so any request that you can have, so you could just define them here, enumerate them here, like case get countries, case cities. So there could be various types. In our case, we're just making a test, so we are just fetching countries. Our Xcode is complaining as we conform to API target type, but we didn't add these steps here. So let's quickly add them using add. So that's what we have. Let's put it on the top, our case on the top, and here we are going to define all of them using switch self. So our case is get countries. Here is return our base URL. What is our base URL? Let's just first copy all of that. Our base URL actually is this, and our path, same as there, we're gonna use just switch self and case get countries. Oh no, get countries, where we're gonna return all. So this is our full endpoint, like it's base URL, and the rest of it, it's going to be all. Later, self. For our case, which we are using get countries, it's going to be returning method get. So we are using get method here. And for headers, switch self case get countries, it's going to be returning nil, as we don't use it for now. We don't need it. If you need it, you can define it here as same as parameters. We can just add here parameters and define them. Okay, so we're done. This is our API target. Next, what we're gonna do, create our class of network manager, and in here just make a singleton, static let shared is equal to network manager. We're gonna create our public function first. We can call it get countries or fetch countries. So here we're gonna pass here target. Target is that we created our protocol type, and completion we're gonna use escaping. I'm not going to explain what is that. You already have to be aware of. So escaping will hold result countries. It's going to be an array of countries and error. Later we're going to create our customers. Maybe returning white. Okay. And next we are creating private function, which is going to be calling requests. It's the generic function. It's also going to be holding target. API target type, completion alt. But as we are using it as a generic, we just can create T here. It's our generic type. When we are using generic, we have to also confirm codable. Oh, yeah. So as we create our request, we just can simply pass it over there. Target is going to be target. Completion is going to be completion. Excellent. Next, let's implement our method request. So what let URL is equal to URL with a string, which is coming from target base URL. And we are appending path here. That is target path. We can just simply complete it with a failure. And our failure going to be our custom error here. You can just simply use invalid URL and return. Now we're going to create our custom errors here. And we are going to create an enum of network error. And our cases could be invalid URL. We are handling no data received case, parsing error, decoding error, response error. Let's continue. Invalid URL. We are simply passing our network error out here. This is our custom error, and now this error is gonna be gone. Cool. So this block telling us if there is no URL or the URL is not correct. So it's gonna be completing with a failure invalid URL. Next, we are creating our request. Is equal to URL request, where we are passing our URL. Firstly, we have to define our HTTP method, which we created. Target, here is our method, and it's going to be row value. Yes, it's telling us that we are using constant here, so just simply we will change it to a variable. Here we can also, if we have headers or body, we can just simply use HTTP body or all HTTP headers. If we don't have it, we don't need to touch it now. Let's create a task. We are creating our task. It's going to be URL session shared data task. We have a completion handler where we have data, our response, and error. Now we're gonna handle them. Firstly, let's handle our error. If error is equal to error, if error is equal to error, completion is going to be failure request error. We didn't mention it here, request error. So simply just create one more case with request error. Why are you complaining here to me? Okay. Now let's organize it a little bit here. So next, we are going to handle our response. Guard let response is equal to response as HTTP response. And we're gonna handle its status code. 299 response status code. Okay, now our completion is going to be with a failure response error. So we handled our response perfectly. Let's handle our data. If our data is not going to come, or if there's going to be a problem with our data, we can simply complete it with a failure no data received and return. And after that, we can just simply use our do catch block is equal to JSON decoder as we are decoding it. Our type is tself data, and here's successful cases here. Perfect. Oh yeah. Try catch. We can handle one more error. It's gonna be a decoding error. Like decoding error. It's going to be completed as decoding error. Okay, we don't need optional. The last one, we are catching parsing error. Organizing the code, command I. So we're almost done. We just have to check it. We're gonna use it here, fetch countries. Our target, yeah. So our target is, and it's going to be get countries. We are simply passing target here, and our completion block result in. Let's switch our result with successful case and failure case, and we can simply print them here. Next, our case is failure case error. Okay, perfect. This is our response, and now we can run it and check iPhone 15 Pro. Just let's call it. So we are getting all our countries like Cyprus, Liberia, Bermuda, Vatican, and its population. You can see it here. That's what we retrieved. So we are done, and let's go from the beginning and summarize what we did. We created our model here. We conformed to the Codable protocol. So Codable is used for decoding and encoding as well. Next, we created our protocol. We defined it with base URL, path, HTTP method headers, and then here we created our API target, conformed to API target type protocol, and define our cases here. As we have only one request, so it's written here, it's get countries. Next, we created our network manager class, and we can make it final. Final is a good practice to use when you're not inheriting from this class. And here we go. This is our get countries, which we are using from our view controller, passing our model. And here is our generic request function. It's a private function. We are handling all the errors here. And at last, we're just using our view controller and getting our countries here. That's what we did. Alright guys, I hope this video was useful for you. Thanks for watching. Put your likes below, write your comments. See you in the next one.